Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Running Real Estate Podcast. I'm Ryan Haley. Hope you have been doing fantastic. Well, we are into January 2025, and we are currently 1/24th through 2025. That's right, more than halfway through January. It kind of seems like we had this extremely long winter break. The holiday seasons have kind of carried over, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that our kids, most of them, were off for about 2 full weeks. And then we've had this snow and cold weather. So it just makes it seem like the holidays maybe were a little bit longer, which I'm perfectly okay with. But what does that mean for the actual real estate market? Well, what I wanted to do today was not necessarily talk about what's currently going on here in the third week in January, but I wanted to recap what we saw in 2024. As many of you know, as many of you tune in, every week I bring you a weekly look at what's going on in the real estate markets for Sussex County, Worcester County, and Wycomico County. And I typically do that in like 7-day increments. What happened in the last week? Well, I'm going to actually go back and look at the entire year here today. And I want to start off kind of big picture, with what has gone on nationally in the real estate market. And then we're going to break it down to what we see here locally. Because really every real estate market is local. Every real estate market is different. And that's why it's so important that when you are thinking about buying real estate, you want to work with somebody local, somebody who actually knows the ins and outs of that market, because it's so unique. You can't generalize the entire country, and you can't generalize the entire state of Maryland or the entire state of Delaware. You have to look more on the micro scale, what's going on locally. So I'm going to start off big picture and nationally. Many of you know, and many of you have heard me discuss the fact that in 2024, it was actually the lowest number of resale home sales going back to almost the 1990s. The number of transactions has definitely been down, and that has been the case since we started to see interest rates rise. Interest rates started their rise in June of 2022. So since that time, every year we've seen a little bit less when it comes to total number of transactions. That being said, our prices have actually held. So we've been in a true real estate recession when it comes to number of transactions, but on the contrary, prices had continued to rise for a period of time, and currently they're not necessarily rising, but they're certainly holding their own in many spots. So I explained to a lot of people we're kind of at the pinnacle of pricing nationwide, and also what we're seeing here at the beach. So just under 4 million home sales nationally on the resale side here in 2024. When we break that down and we look at what has actually happened locally, we did not go down. We actually are up a little bit. So I'm going to go through here. I'm going to start off with Worcester County, which is the county where Ocean City is located. Worcester County is very unique because to the north, we've got Delaware. To the south, we've got Virginia. And Worcester County takes up the entire coastal region. It's our only coastal county on the ocean here in Maryland. So when we look at total units sold, total properties sold, for Worcester County in 2024, we were actually up 3.8% over the year before. We had 2,005 total home sales in Worcester County in 2024, where in 2023 we had 1,931. So that's positive, up 3.8%. Our average sales price here in Worcester County actually is also up 1.8%. So we did not quite see the double-digit numbers that certain parts of the country have seen. And interestingly enough, if we look at all of Maryland, total average home sale price was up 5.8%. But locally here, we were a little bit slower. We were at 1.8%. So currently, the average sales price in 2024 came in at $485,000. When we look at pending, so this is the future casting. At the end of 2024, we had 2,085 properties pending in Worcester County, where at the end of 2023, we had 1,950 properties. So we had more home sales in 2024. Our prices were up a bit. And as we project into the future, we have more pending sales at the end of 2024. All good indicators. Now, active inventory. How much is for sale compared with 2024 and 2023? At the end of 2023, we had 518 active listings in Worcester County. 2024, we actually have some more. So we have some more to choose from. 570 total active listings in Worcester County. Months of inventory. So the month's supply, you hear me talk about this over and over again on my weekly market reports, but the months of inventory currently sitting at the end of 2024, 3.4 months. And if we look at our median days on market, we went from 14 in 2023 up to 2025 as the median number of days a property stays on the market. So that number is definitely jumping up a little bit. Now let's go over to Wicomico County. Wicomico County, when we look at total units sold, actually up even higher, 4.7% increase in total properties sold. We finished 2024 with 1,115 sold properties. Average sales price, this is significantly higher than what we saw in Worcester County, up 5.1%, actually falling more in line with the average for the state of Maryland. So the average sales price right now in Wicomico County coming in at $284,000. Units pending. Future casting, again, 1,137 units pending at the end of 2024, up from 1,060. So once again, good signs going into the year. When we look at the month's supply, very much in line with what we saw last year. 2.2 months supply on average right now in Wicomico County, where last year it was actually a little bit more. We were at 2.4 months supply. Median days on market were 21 this year compared to 12 last year. So once again, that's that trend we're seeing, the median days on market. It's taking a little bit longer to sell properties this year than it did last year, which for you're a buyer, it gives you a little bit more breathing room in general. So now we're going to go over to Sussex County, and we're going to look at the end of Sussex, or the end of 2024 compared to the end of 2023, and our median sales price, $540,000. So that is significantly higher than what we see on the Maryland side. When we compared that to Worcester County, the average sales price was $485,000, where the average sales price in Wicomico County was $284,000. But our median sales price over in Sussex, $540,000 is what it's currently averaging right now. That's up 3% over 2023. Average days on market in Sussex County, 54. That's 0% change. So exactly in line with what we saw in 2023. Average days on market, 54. Closed sales at the end, so I'm comparing Q4 to Q4. We had 1,056 sales in Q4 of 2024. That's up 23% over 2023. And active inventory up 26%. Over what we saw in 2023. So that's your recap here for the three counties as to what we are seeing year over year. So all three of our counties, we had an increase in the number of sales. We saw an increase in sales price. And at the same time, we're seeing more inventory and more days on market. Forecasting into 2025. None of us have a crystal ball. We're not 100% sure where things are going to go. The other thing, forecasting, some people say, well, where do you think interest rates are going to go? And I always say that it's impossible to predict interest rates. If somebody says exactly what they think interest rates are going to be in the future, they're basically guessing and or lying to you, because there's no exact science to be able to predict it. All we can do is try to get all the people together to kind of give us an idea as to where things might go. And interest rate wise, what we're hearing is we're currently sitting just over 7% today on the 30-year fixed, and many people are predicting that we're going to be in quite possibly the 6.5% range at the end of 2025. So that's not a huge decrease. It sounds like we're going to be in a higher interest rate environment for longer. But my prediction is we are going to see an increase in total sales in 2025. We are also going to see an increase in inventory. And I do believe the reason we're going to have more sales is because the inventory is going to be more. There's going to be more to choose from if you're a buyer, which is going to get some more folks out looking, and we will see more transactions. It's not going to be a huge bump, but I think we're going to see a little bit more activity. So that is my prediction. That is the recap as to what we've seen here at the beach. If you have any specific questions on specific neighborhoods or counties and or segments in the marketplace, it would be our pleasure to break those down and give you a guide as to what has gone on and what will be happening in the future. So there you have it. Thanks for tuning in again. We hope to bring you more great information here on the Running Real Estate Podcast. And if we can be of any assistance, please let us know. Please like, subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on the Running Real Estate Podcast.